As I talk to investors, another area of concern I hear a lot
Mm.
about involves private credit. And last month we
Yes.
saw the subprime auto lender Tricolor Holdings collapse along with the car parts manufacturer First Brands. And then we had Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, saying quite memorably now that there could be cockroaches in the economy. These couldn't just be
Yes.
sort of singular events, there could be more. How did you interpret what Jamie Dimon said after the collapse of those two institutions?
Well, to be clear, what Jamie was saying, he wasn't saying Tricolor is a cockroach. He was saying that when you see one or two, there tend to be a lot more out there. His comment then got taken as being an attack on private credit rather than a point about the credit cycle. I am very struck by a point that Scott Bessent made, the Treasury Secretary, a few months ago, which is that there was so much more growth in private credit than there was in the banks. And he took that as meaning that the banks were being too heavily regulated and that they should be regulated as lightly as private credit. And by the same logic, it is exactly as plausible to say that that is because private credit isn't being regulated enough and should be regulated as tightly as the banks. We don't know exactly how systemic the big private credit issuers are and whether indirectly we will eventually get to such a point. I'm not predicting 2008 again. People will find ways to stop it before it gets as bad as it got in 2008. It's reasonable to think that we ought to be close to the top of the credit cycle, and yet we're not priced for that, and that creates the risk of quite a come down.